Hi, and thanks for joining me for this sourcing webinar. We're going to look at one specific job requirement and analyze it. We will analyze the technical vocabulary, we will analyze the role itself, and then dive deeper to how to actually find the specific IT professional. So let's dive right in. So today we will be reviewing the Fullstack JavaScript/TypeScript engineer. This is a position for one of our clients remotely, fully remote from Europe. The client is in the United States. The acronym TS stands for TypeScript, JavaScript, and TypeScript. So what we do usually is we look at who to target on LinkedIn, and we've been already sourcing Fullstack TypeScript or Fullstack JavaScript engineers. So that's not so difficult anymore for people who have been joining these sourcing webinars, or you can also look for some previous sessions inside the Academy. However, what is interesting about this specific opening is that they are not looking just for a Fullstack JavaScript or TypeScript engineer, but specifically someone who has the knowledge of data structure algorithms. And that's quite interesting. So I thought it could be a good opportunity to dive deeper in this direction and see what does it actually mean, the data structure algorithms, and how to target such professionals. Because if we take a step back, there are lots of people out there who can do full stack web development, people who can do JavaScript development, and a lot of people out there can use TypeScript because TypeScript was built on top of JavaScript. It's a more strict version of JavaScript. So by the way, you can always open up the mind maps, and I'll do it here as well. I'll share my screen. With the mind maps, you can always look through the most important terminology. So let's just go to page number, where is it? JavaScript, do you guys see JavaScript? Oh yeah, here, page 22. So let's go to page number 22. Yeah, here. Yeah, so you can, for example, see here JavaScript and TypeScript just on a really high level. The front-end development frameworks include React, Angular, Vue.js. The back-end development frameworks include, for example, Node.js and Express. But why do I have JavaScript and TypeScript in one box? Is because they are very similar. In other programming languages, as you can see, there is one programming language and different frameworks around. Python, different frameworks. Perl, different frameworks. C#, different frameworks. But with TypeScript and JavaScript, I have the same frameworks because TypeScript is just a different dialect of JavaScript, a more strict dialect. So a lot of developers who can use JavaScript can also use TypeScript. They just need to learn the slightly updated syntax. And everyone who can use TypeScript can also use JavaScript. So with that, coming back to Fullstack JavaScript or TypeScript, that's why I labeled it as a Fullstack JavaScript TypeScript engineer. TypeScript is in brackets. So long story short, the master requirements include 3-4 years of experience with either JavaScript or TypeScript. On the backend with Node.js, as you can see here, Node.js on the backend. On the front end with either React or Angular or Vue.js. They don't really care that much what exactly has the developer used in the past. In the company, the client uses React, but it's not a must-have requirement. So I rephrased it because initially it was React, but they would essentially hire even someone who has used Vue.js in the previous project, but can use React after a few hours or days of really quick upskill, even before the person starts working full-time for the company. So yeah, this is clear, but what makes it slightly different compared to our previous full-stack TypeScript developer positions is this knowledge of data structure algorithms. So the client is a cool San Francisco-based startup. They develop an innovative software product which helps manufacturing companies to construct small apartments in a factory as modules that plug into each other and then ship them to another place to put them together in one building. They are building the platform with the intent to optimize their work by helping them identify what is the one important document for the worker. I mean, what is the one document that the worker should be looking at instead of the 30,000 documents that are describing the whole construction site. So, and this is the challenge. This is why they need the data structure algorithms. Plus, for the worker, the platform should be able to order the material needed for that particular construction. So imagine there is a worker just trying to build some part of the apartment, and they need, I don't know, some glasses and windows, and they need some, I don't know, doors probably. So through the platform, this should be ordered right in time, and that's the challenge. This is why they are looking for a developer who understands the data structure algorithm so they can produce these charts and whatnot. Like, I don't really know details either. They haven't really revealed how does it work, and it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we need to find people who have experience with data structure algorithms. So yes, and this is the challenge, right? How do we identify who has the knowledge of data structure algorithms? If you look at some traditional web development bootcamp, say web development bootcamp, let's just open up one website that people usually, you know, they may go to this web development bootcamp, and let's just see. Let's see if, you know, it's a course for 13 euros. Let's see if the data structures are in the courseware. How can I see the content of the course? Oh, here, sections. Okay, so if a developer doesn't study a university, but just goes through some online course, for example, Udemy or Udacity or whatever, they learn about HTML, they learn about CSS, they learn about Bootstrap and JavaScript, they learn jQuery, they learn Node.js, they may learn to build an API, they learn to work with databases, SQL, but they don't really learn about the data structures. You see, you know, create your own crypto token, you know, these are projects eventually. Yeah, React is the framework to learn. But you see, there is nothing about data structures. And where I'm heading with this is that the data structures are an advanced topic. Usually people don't want to just start learning about data structure algorithms. It's way too difficult, and there are easier quick wins to learn to start creating websites. It's really advanced, and usually while people study or students study on a university, they have to go through some data structure courses as a part of some computer science course. They also teach the data structure algorithms. So students cannot really escape in a university. They cannot just skip data structures because it's really essential for some more advanced software engineers. However, a lot of people out there learn to use JavaScript, TypeScript to build websites outside of a school, and then they don't know the data structure algorithms. So where I'm heading with this is that not everyone who knows how to build a website can also understand the data structure algorithms. But how do we know who understands the data structure algorithms? So people who have studied computer science, because usually that's a part of the curriculum. So it's one of the markers that we can use to identify people who have this knowledge. Then we can also just ask candidates if they understand the data structure algorithms, if they understand data structures and algorithms. So that could be second way. Or probably we would be able to see it on their profiles, which we can check, as usually I will open up LinkedIn and we will try to find these people so we can see how this would work in real practice if you guys receive this as a requirement to work on. And meanwhile, I see that also the rest of the crew joined us. Juliana, Erika, Elizabeth, Denisa, great, good to see you again. So I also wrote a few self-assessment screening questions, as usually, to help the candidates self-identify if this would be a good opportunity for them. So first, do you have at least 3-4 years experience with either JavaScript or TypeScript? That's very straightforward. Have you studied computer science? Yes or no? Do you understand data structure algorithms? So, they either have studied computer science or they have learned data structure algorithms on their own. Probably they have, they are maybe so passionate that they learned it on their own, which I would say is a rare exception, but still there may be some people out there. So yeah, Gillian is asking, so I'll really quickly send you the link. You can go to recruitinstantly.com, Julian, and see a little more info. Have you used AWS Cloud? If not, which one have you used most? So the company, the San Francisco-based company, uses AWS, but they don't insist. And we had an interesting discussion with the CTO. At first, he was like, this is AWS, we use it, it's a must-have. And I was like asking, okay, so you have it already set up. Like, why is it a must-have for the new joiner? And then he was like, well, because the person needs to be able to log in and connect to a database. And I'm like, okay, so even if the developer does not know AWS, has never used it, like how long does it take to learn how to connect to AWS database? And he's like, well, maybe like 2 hours with a coffee break. And I'm like, okay, so if it takes 2 hours, is it really a must-have requirement? And then he was like, no, you know what, not really. In that case, it's not a must-have. Another cloud, but at least one cloud is a must-have. So at least one cloud should be. But these days, who doesn't use cloud these days? A lot of companies have started using either Amazon or Google Cloud or whatever, IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud. There are so many clouds out there. Which front-end framework are you most proficient with? They don't insist on React. React is a plus, but not a must-have. Is your English fluent enough to communicate with colleagues on Zoom? It's a San Francisco-based startup. The co-founders are based in the United States. So, they are looking for someone who is fluent with English. What's your current salary expectation? This is actually a question when people submit a form or we send these questions to them. So anyway, moving on to sourcing keywords. The titles, of course, would include either JavaScript or TypeScript and developer, engineer, programmer. Or the other combination would be full stack or full stack with space or dash and developer, engineer, programmer. Or in some cases, people just have on their profile, on their CV written software developer, software engineer, software programmer. So with these 3 different search combinations, we actually cover a lot more titles. For example, JavaScript developer, JavaScript engineer, TypeScript developer, TypeScript engineer, Fullstack developer, Fullstack engineer, full-stack developer, full-stack engineer, software developer, software engineer, software programmer. So this is very powerful, but it's not just it. We need people who don't, for example, use C#, but rather use TypeScript, because that's the must-have skill, or JavaScript, either or. And that's why I would put it to either skills or keywords, TypeScript or JavaScript. Node.js, yeah, I mean, you can use it to start with, but it's not a must-have requirement. You can use it in your keyword search, but not a must. Same with React. You can combine different variations, React or React.js or React.js. Data structures and data structure algorithms would be also my preferred keywords. So that's what we will try today. And even if we don't find too many people, we will look at what are some other markers or some other keywords we could use to identify people who have experience with some data structure algorithms. Sourcing locations include Western Europe, Central Europe, Eastern Europe as well. Not Russia, because of the money transfers. Ukraine is a bit tricky these days. So Western Europe, such as Portugal, Spain, not really UK, not Germany, not Switzerland, because the salary would not be compelling enough, given the rates in Berlin. But others, Portugal, Spain would be great. Czechia, Slovakia, Poland, Hungary. There are so many TypeScript developers out. Cool. So anyway, now the most interesting part of this, right? Like, we actually find people with data structure algorithms, if we can find them at all. If not, then we will need to drop it from our search criteria and only approach people who seem to use TypeScript, and then we screen this during interviews. And if you guys want, by the way, then I can also share a few questions that we have written internally for candidates. So if you'd like, just let me know, and I can share those screening, like interview questions when we have the candidate on the phone. What do we ask? Because you can ask, do you know data structure algorithms? But that's just not a good question, right? Because anyone can say yes, and you don't really know if they understand it or not. So we would need to rephrase the question in another way to reveal if the person has the knowledge of data structure algorithms. So yeah, Elizabeth wants to see. Okay, so we will cover that as well. I can probably just open it up now in another window. So here, okay. Okay, so when we create the candidate report for the manager, usually we go through a set of questions, and these are not really questions; these are like topics to talk about and to write about at the end. So, what is the candidate's experience with JavaScript, with TypeScript? Has this candidate worked for product-centric companies? Has this candidate used Node.js professionally? Has the candidate used React or another front-end framework? Does he or she have computer science degree? When has he or she graduated? If the candidate used cloud, so I would not ask, have you used cloud, yes or no? But instead, I would ask, which cloud have you used most or most recently, or in your recent project? Which solutions from the cloud have you used exactly? Because if you go to AWS, Amazon.com, you will see they have lots of solutions by, what is it? So for example, just for databases, where is it? Database. database migration, data lakes, and analytics. Well, it's hard to see from here, but if you log into their console, you can see lots of different services. They have lots of different solutions for Internet of Things, for machine learning, for, well, even for remote work. I didn't even know. Oh, wow, I have to check this later. So I'll just keep it open. So anyway, coming back to these questions, so it's better to ask which solutions have you used exactly? How did you use them? Who set them up? Okay, so those are just a few follow-up questions. Have you used Docker on a production project? The word production is important because a lot of people just experiment, play with it on a hobby project, and we want to know if the person has used it professionally on a production-ready project. If the candidate can work standalone, for example, in this case, the CTO said that they want to have someone who can work without a product owner, without a business analyst, because they don't really have any product owner or a business analyst. So they are looking for people, for developers who have started their own projects, who are able to come up with the requirements by themselves. So that's why our screening questions during the call are supposed to reveal this. For example, have you worked in a team without a product owner or a business analyst? Have you worked on a product where you were creating requirements on your own? Have you identified gaps and proposed solutions in your previous projects? How? Can you show us an example? And we specifically want candidates who have not just received requirements from managers, but were supposed to think on their own. And I wrote for our colleagues, ideally look for someone who has started some new software product from scratch, created requirements himself or herself, and built it from the ground up. But here is the data structure algorithms part, which we are getting to. That was what I actually wanted to share at first. So the first question, what data structures are you aware of? So instead of asking, do you understand, do you know what are the data structures? We ask, what data structures are you aware of? And if the candidate can, from top of their mind, say at least 3, yeah, that's great. If cannot really enumerate any of them, that's not a good sign. And there are like 15 of them, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The second question would be, what have you used data structure algorithms for? It's not just about knowing them, for example, the array or binary tree, but also to apply them in practice. So when you are screening candidates, it's good to also ask if the candidate has used this at work and what was it good for. Like now, imagine the candidate knows about data structures, so then he should also know what they are good for, what can they be used for. If the candidate cannot respond this, then that's not a good sign. Can you share an example of how can data structure algorithms help improve the workflow? Okay, how can they help improve the workflow or the process? Because data structure algorithms are supposed to, help navigate through data in a more efficient way. So the person should have an example, maybe some test project he worked on or whatever else. Can you understand how graphs work? Explain. It's one of the data structure, as you can see, graph. Okay, so after these 4 questions, we can clearly see if the person has an idea about data structure algorithms or not. We don't have them on the website here because it would not be very helpful. We just have here a very broad question. Where was it? Do you understand data structure algorithms? A lot of people will answer yes, and then you ask them these 4 follow-up questions, and half of them will fail, which is good. That's why we do the screening. That's why we call every candidate, figure out if they actually know that stuff or not. And gosh, like I had such a good candidate today on an interview. I was asking him about the dream job. I guess I'll release that as a podcast episode because, and this is off topic, so sorry about drifting here. But for example, I don't like to ask a question, why would you like to join company X, Y, and Z? Why would you like to join? I don't like to ask this question because the candidate may not know the company X, Y, and Z at all. Especially when we just introduce the company during the call for the first time to a candidate. The candidate doesn't know the company. As an agency, we just tell the candidate during an interview, hey, this is the company, this is the brief, this is who the CPO is looking for. And I think you could be a good fit based on what you said. So I wouldn't ask, why would you like to join company X, Y, and Z? Because the candidate doesn't know much about the company. So he or she either just makes up something to sound intelligent, or I don't know, like it just doesn't make sense. It makes sense to ask, for example, for some well-known companies, like, why would you like to join Google? I mean, like, I could answer that question also, right? But not if you are just introducing the candidate an opening during the call. However, this is so much better question. What does your dream job look like? So this is an amazing question because people can really unleash their creativity and think out of the blue. What would their dream job look like? They would like to work remotely. They would like to work in a team that I don't know, consists of at least 15 people, so they have someone to learn from. They would like to work on a meaningful product, would like to work with a famous CTO or whatever, right? Like, this is the dream job. But the beauty is that after the candidate says X, Y, and Z, then you can just highlight some of the issues. For example, this tick the box, or say it matches, or there is match here, match with Y, match with Z. So you can just say like, oh, thanks for letting me know about your dream job. Like, now when you said it, I think this opportunity will be really a great one, because this company is, and you just repeat what matches with the dream job, what he or she described. Same with the second one. And I was just having this interview earlier today, and it just went so well. The person, for example, said, I want to work on a meaningful project. I want to work with a great team. I want to, I don't recall now from the top of my mind, but like mentioned a few of these things. And then I was like, well, that's exactly like the team I work with. Like, these guys are awesome. Like, they're so responsive on Slack. They are fast to decide. Like, they are very fair from what I've seen. Like, these are great people to work with. And the project, like, it couldn't get more meaningful because they help college students, and it's a very rewarding experience. It's an education project. So this will be a great match as well. And people are then so excited about the opportunity, because first they tell me what their dream job looks like, and then I tell them like, hey, exactly, this is a dream job. So this works like a charm, and this is the best part of the interview. So yeah, I'm just plugging this in as a little benefit on top of the sourcing strategy while we are here. I have to release this interview from today as a podcast. I mean, the small chunk of it. Anyway, okay, so that's it. That's it. And still we are left with the question, how do we find these TypeScript developers who have experience with data structures? So yeah. And by the way, if you guys don't have this booklet with mind maps, you can just go to itrecruitmentmaps.com and you can get it It's so helpful. I have it in my desk also because when when I'm on interviews, I cannot remember everything myself. So I just open it up, for example, Java landscape or PHP landscape or DevOps or whatever, and then I pretend to remember it all while I'm just reading through the mind map. So coming back to these data structures. So why don't we just open up Google and let's say, let's open up data structure algorithms, like what it actually is. So 7 algorithms, data structures every programmer must know. Well, this doesn't look very appealing. Something doesn't work on that page. Geeks for geeks, data structures. Okay, so here are some data structures listed. No, I don't want to log in. Oh my, that's a long page. Anyway, at least we see what are the data structures, like graph, binary tree, array. There are some. A data structure is a particular way of organizing data in a computer so that it can be used effectively. Okay, so it's about also this company, they need to reorder inventory, reorder those 30,000 documents for the construction worker. So it's about accessing the data, reorganizing data effectively. And for that, there are all these data structure algorithms, like how to save data and how to query data effectively. Like all these binary tree, I don't really know these. It sounds quite technical, doesn't it? So what we actually can see, at least, is this list of the data structures. So we could use, for example, binary tree as one of the examples. We can, of course, use data structure or data structure algorithms, but why don't we try binary tree as well? We could also try array. We could try heap hashing. Let's try what comes out of this, heap or hashing. So with a binary tree, I would be probably most hopeful. Array as well, data structure, data structures. So let me open up LinkedIn and we will try it out. So let's do it in one of these preferred locations. How about Portugal? Let's try Portugal, the first one on the list. Portugal. And let's try the title, JavaScript developer engineer. Front-end developer, awesome. But we still have 300 people and we don't know how many of them have the experience with data structures and algorithms. So why don't we at first try something like data structures or data algorithms? Let's try just this. $19 people. So 19 people have this on their profile. And now let's try the other one, binary tree. No one. Okay, so then it's not the best keyword. Let's try array. Or let's try binary trees if anyone has it. No. Okay. Let's try it together. No one. Okay. We don't get discouraged by any means. How about array heap hashing? array or heap or hashing. These are some of the algorithms. One person. Okay, not that many, right? Middle Fullstack developer, PHP Laravel Symfony. Yeah, but we are looking for TypeScript, not really PHP developer. Oh, he uses on the backend. Okay, but let's see what else he has on his profile. Test-driven development. No. JavaScript, Agile, Appressivo. Okay, so he doesn't really have this. Okay, so better would be just to write data structure algorithms. Binary tree, people don't seem to have this particular one written. Data structures, we have data structure algorithms, we have advanced data structure that is covered with data structures. Oh yeah. Hey, let's try just data structure. But then we can drop the all data structure algorithms because the first one is a part of data structure algorithms. So let's see how many profiles we will get. Oh, no, get tables, keywords. Uh-huh, 20. So there is one more person. After we changed it, we have 20 people. Not that many, right? But yeah, 5% more. This leads to 0. Okay, so only use data structure, actually, not to look at these. That is not helping at all. But the second way to determine if someone has experience with data structures is the computer science studied computer science. So we can just see if have it somehow written, say computer science. It's 97 people. 97 people. And just out of curiosity, how many people out of those 19 have computer science written on their profile? Out of 19 people, 14. So that's good. That's good. That's good. But what do, okay, well, and this is interesting because we are doing some research here. It's not just about data entry. This is real proper research. So we see that there are 20 people who have data structures. Out of those, 14 people have computer science written on their profile, and 6 people don't have computer science on their profile. So now I would be really curious, what do those other 6 people, what do they have on their profile? If not computer science, then what else? So we can create a search string that will reveal those 6 profiles, and we will write simply data structure or data structures, not computer science. But this should get us those 6 profiles exactly. So let's go through all of them one by one. It's only 6 profiles. What other markers, what other keywords could we use to determine if they have studied university? Oh, look, graph search, shortest path, data structures, algorithm specialization, Stanford University. Well, if this is not data structure algorithms, then I don't know what is. But they don't have computer science. It doesn't matter really. Okay, fair enough, because now we have revealed one more keyword, shortest path, another one. And the third keyword would be algorithms Maybe just algorithms. Let's just try algorithms. Oh, this is so cool, isn't it? That's magic. Greedy algorithms, minimum spanning trees, dynamic programming. Wow, that's so cool. Look, guys, we are now revealing so many wonderful keywords. Greedy algorithms, minimum spanning trees, dynamic programming, divide and conquer, sorting and searching. Randomized algorithms. Well, if we have algorithms, then we don't really need randomized algorithms because also the one keyword algorithms would find it. But let's just list this. We are doing some research. We went through the first profile really quick. If we were a bit more thorough, if we had more time, we could read the rest, but let's not spend too much time. Hope you guys are also so excited about this kind of research because we can just look for JavaScript developers, but we would be scratching the surface. But now we are revealing some other additional keywords that we can use to find other similar profiles. And that's just so exciting, isn't it? Or am I the only one crazy here? Hopefully not, hopefully not. You guys keep coming back to this sourcing webinar, so you are crazy as well. No other keywords, advanced styling, no. Version control, no university, no. Fullstack web development, graduate, problem solving, JavaScript, React. Okay, nothing interesting. Political science, no. No, not really. Let's reveal some more keywords. Languages, Oracle certified. No, education is not here. Institute of Technology. Master of Administration, Free Code Camp. No. Computer software engineering. This would probably just be some boot camp with not too much detail about data structures. Okay, so we went through all of them. We found some good keywords. So how about now we try those keywords in practice? So let's do it. Graph search. You know what? I'll do it like a Boolean search or shortest path or algorithms. And then we can skip this or sorting and searching or this or this or this or that. And let's see how many more profiles will we get. Hopefully at least some. So out of 20, how many guys do you think we will get? Hopefully not just 21. No, it doubled. Look, 41 profiles. That's nice, right? It looks like only 40, but these are awesome 40. So this gets us 41 profiles in Portugal. Of course, Mercedes, of course, here it is. But what is the beauty now? We can just add more countries, for example, Poland, and we will have probably 200, 300 candidates. Yeah, 200, you see, because there are a lot more people in Poland. So suddenly now we have people who have this experience, but let's not forget about JavaScript and TypeScript. Actually, we have it, that's good. So yeah. JavaScript developer Pranislav. JavaScript developer, only nine months, not senior enough in this case, but has the right keywords. Yeah, has the right keywords. It's just not senior enough. Let's go to another profile, front-end engineer. Started just 7 months ago. He would not be my first choice. If someone just started half a year ago, front-end developer Tan Young, 5 months ago in Ukraine, not really. 3 years senior software, worked as a team lead, could be slightly overqualified, but University of Informatics, that could also be a good keyword. People don't have to study computer science, they may study informatics or software engineering. .NET developer, no. What we could also do is to limit the search for current positions only. I just have what was by default, current or past. It would be more accurate if we go through those who have it right now. He's a solution architect, so maybe not. So let's do it right away so we don't waste time. But it's also good sometimes to go through those who had it in the past. So let's see, 57, developer, Tomislav. No. Software engineer front end with React, that's good. Mostly JavaScript. Front end also TypeScript, 6 years of experience. Fullstack engineer with JavaScript, React, that's good. What about the data structures? Where can we see the data structure keyword or algorithms? Or let's not forget that we could also add the university or computer science. So we would get people who studied computer science. Yeah. So front-end engineer, that's great. Full stack JavaScript developer, 1 year, awesome. 3 years in the company, that's great. Graph analysis, algorithm validation using Python, graph visualization using JavaScript, nice. Studied master's degree, informatics and radio electronics, that's great. Most likely knows a thing or two about data structures. Oh, that's a lot of skills, isn't it? CI/CD, Jest, Vue, Redux, Gulp, Oracle SQL, no, jQuery, front-end development, JavaScript. Cool. And studied the university, so we'll have knowledge, and he also used it in practice, the graph analysis algorithms. So if we see someone like this, I would say an ideal candidate because he uses JavaScript, he uses AWS, he uses React, uses Node.js on the backend. Ideal candidate. He has been in the company for 3 years. He couldn't get better, and he studied at university and also applied some graphs in practice. So let's spend a minute writing a message to this candidate. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So what do we start with? Hi, Ilya. I would like to highlight those data algorithms somehow, because that helps this position to stand out in the crowd. So hi, hi Ilya. I saw you worked with graph analysis algorithms at IBA, and I'm working with an engineering team or with co-founders from San Francisco who are applying data structure algorithms to improve. Because how was it? Do you guys remember? To improve or to optimize constructions. Yeah, something like this. To optimize construction of apartments in the US. They are looking for a JavaScript, TypeScript, Fullstack engineer, and it looks like you tick all the boxes with React and Node.js as well, which they use. Would you like to discuss some of the challenges their new platform faces, and how you could help them build a world-class software product? Let me know, and we'll schedule a quick call. Now, the subject, something that will sparkle some curiosity, something that will get him to think like, oh my gosh, what is this? Not very straightforward. I don't like to say, for example, job opportunity, TypeScript development. That would be way too boring and straightforward. We need something that is a bit more appealing potentially for him. For example, like introduction, graph analysis algorithms. CTO introduction regarding graph analysis algorithms. Like that sounds appealing, probably, CTO introduction regarding graph analysis algorithms. That sounds technical. Yeah. Thanks, Anna. Thanks for joining. We are just wrapping it up slowly. So this is the message: CTO introduction regarding graph analysis platforms. And the message would be, hi, Ilya. I saw you work with graph analysis algorithms at IBA, and I'm working with co-founders from San Francisco who are applying data structure algorithms to optimize construction of apartments in the US. Oh, that sounds quite like not too fluffy, but to the point. It's technical as well. But they are looking for a JavaScript, TypeScript, full stack engineer, and it sounds like you tick all the boxes with React, with your React and Node.js experience. With your Node experience. I'll just keep it simple like this. Would like to discuss some of the challenges their new platform faces and how you could help them build a world-class software product. Just let me know and we'll schedule a quick call. Okay, so I sent you the other version. I'm clicking and hitting send button. Let's just check the profile it again. JavaScript, front-end, Fullstack, AWS. Awesome, awesome. I mean, this is a great profile. I would love to hop on a call with him, interview him, and push forward. So yeah, send. Boom. Awesome, awesome. Cool, cool. So that was fun, wasn't it? That was fun. From the last week, by the way, you guys probably remember we messaged someone, who was it? Some product owner, right? And the guy responded. The guy accepted the invite and is ready to and happy to have a call. So yeah, like it works. Let's just push this through, and yeah, let's do a better job at approaching candidates, messaging them. First, it starts with proper targeting, with good research. As you saw, it's not just about the keyword data structure, but algorithms, data structure algorithms, and then some additional keywords like graph search, shortest path, sorting searching, dynamic programming, computer science studies. So we will be able to reveal a lot more profiles. Cool, cool. So with that, I guess we can wrap it up. Thanks, guys, for joining. It was very nice seeing you guys here again. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, then we'll wrap it up. So yeah, thanks again. And if you guys don't have access to our portal just yet, then go to recruitinstantly.com and you'll be able to see how you can plug in as well. So with that, I'll wrap it up. Have a wonderful day, stay productive, and submit some good candidates. Bye, guys.